Z06 has moved into the garage. That's a 6.3 stroker LS. It's got a 4-inch stroke, dart, center counterweight crank. That's billet and all that. If you'll notice that bracket right there, that's going to be cool. A&A supercharger kit. It's dirty because I put it on a long time ago and it sat outside. The hood was on it. Florida just makes stuff look like this. Got to do the headers, got to adjust the rockers, got to put a new power steering bracket on there because these have a tendency to, and when I say these, the A&A superchargers, they have a tendency to, see this little piece right here, how it's hollow there? On the updated bracket after 03, that's solid there, and it's really required in this situation. Since I'm going to be putting the key forward a couple times and the fuel lines are not hooked up, went ahead and took out the relay and the fuse for the fuel pump. But this area in the front, you have to take out all of the plastic pieces, put an aluminum panel on each side, one down on the bottom. There's intercooler goes down there. It's pretty damned involved, but we got to get going on it, right?
Oh, no, you didn't. It's a spinner on that car, spinning backwards.
That's Raven. That's the new radiator. That's Z06. I had the radiator all cut down like you have to do for the blower. You cut off that top piece, bend it down so it'll clear the thing. And then that little thing right there broke off. The good news is they have a closeout on these. The company went out of business. New radiator, 33 bucks, shipped the next day. Let's get on this thing. As you can see, blower's in place. Throttle body, intake, all the head stuff. Got on the phone today with the people from A&A, and because I have the bigger 8 groove setup, 8 rib, this bracket will not fit, so they're sending me a new one. Man, if you guys ever buy an A&A product, the guys are fantastic. Just talk to Josh. He took all the time I needed. We need to put the headers on now. We need to put the plugs in and put the starter back in. Make some progress. Well, as you can see, some stuff has been done. All the piping, top to bottom, inside and out, loosely in place, because I want to make sure it's exactly where it's supposed to be before I put that black shield that goes across this top portion here. The headers are in place. The spark plugs, the spark plug wires, they've been gapped properly. I've been charging my battery. The power steering bracket is on. Throttle body, obviously all the top end stuff. I've been doing all the stuff that's kind of behind the scenes, all the brackets and the aluminum shielding in there and all that stuff. But I have 2 gauges inside the car now, one of which the AFR, another one's a boost gauge. I'm not really entirely sure I need that, but yeah, I have it anyway. As of right now, I have to get some 5/8 hose and some 3/8. Then I'll start hooking up the vacuum line for the gauge over there, running it over to the blow-off valve. Also need to get a little filter for the blow-off valve. I saw that in Toys for Life C5 video. I saw he had a little filter on there, and I was like, don't have that. I better source one. Guess I'll be calling AAA tomorrow. Not AAA. I'll be calling A&A. Who finds a distribution tube for a 600 Holly in the middle of a Home Depot parking lot? I just learned something about oil pans. I had a C5 oil pan on here because it's a C5, had the bat wing thing. Turns out I changed it to a C6 pan, so the headers have a little more room. As you can see, there's all kinds of room now with them. But anyway, that right there, the center portion of it, the threaded portion, is smaller than a C6 pan. So I had to go back to the store. Any of you guys doing the C6 pan conversion on your C5, just keep that in mind. It's a different filter. Just look up anything from like 08 to 13.
What?
Well, cutting to the chase, I got it fired up, running real rich, obviously, because it's got 60-pound injectors. So it's going to be running rich until I get it tuned. But this little critter right here was such a tight fit that this lip was touching the water pump. So I'm going to try to just stick, since it comes in from the front, theoretically, if I put a washer on each side, I may be able to space it out just enough. It was weirding me out because when I fired up the engine, I noticed that none of this stuff was turning. And I was like, what? And come to find out, it's because that little puppy was frozen. So I just had to take 2 belts out, gonna put a couple washers in there, and we'll fire it back up. But she runs, man.